Morning, everybody. Rusty from the Rusty Razor. Got another shave of the day, and today we're going to be using Stirling's Varen. Yep. Smells like fern. Yeah. Not a... The scent has kind of decreased a bit since I first got it. It's been a year and a half ago or so. But it's still got a heavy fern scent. It's not really in my wheelhouse, to be honest. It's not something I'm just like, I got to go out and get. It's like... Sample's nice. I use it every once in a while, but it's like it's getting used. It's like the backside of it's disappearing, but it's like scrape it off. It's like people ask, "How do you do that?" It's like spatula. It's like peel off a little bit at a time. About a quarter size amount will do the job. All right, then we're using the Star razor, which was my grandfather's, and then we're going to be using London Bridge second use of the blades to go with it. I like these London Bridge blades. They work really good for me. Lathered up, really nice. Yep, got a heavy fern scent. Kind of a vetiver fern type thing going on. Which Varen, I think, is what, it was it Dutch? I think for fern or something like that. Imagine Sig will probably chime in there somewhere and say what that is. But I think it is for fern. Alright, so how's your day going? Welcome to Psychotic Iowa. Yeah. Don't like the weather, stick around. Yeah, it's like you start the week off with rain and 60-degree temperatures. Yes, we had 60 degrees. That's how the week started. You know, start hitting Monday. And then now it's like, hey, it's cold and snowy. Like, you don't like this, don't like it, stick around. It's bound to change. But dropped my brush into the sink. Lucky catch. Alright, let's go with the grain here. Tighten it down into quite a bit, you could tell. They're kind of hard to find, I guess. You know, it's like I helped Sig find one. I know that Scott over at Shaving Peg Lead has one now. But these razors are pretty efficient. They're not really fancy, but they work really good. They get the job done. And if you're like me, I got a nice collection of razors now. But I always like going back to the old classics when I'm classic shaving. Yeah, it's I always wonder though, who coined the term wet shaving? It's like there's wet shaving is like you use a cart, you're shaving with water and lather or soap or whatever you prefer. So dry shaving is electric razor. I'm dry shaving with my electric razor. It's like you're just shaving. I'm sorry. I've been around too long. Never did I hear this term until it's like 3 years ago. It's like, wet shaving. Like, yeah. You're just shaving with a classic razor. Okay. But, you know, we have to reinvent everything, I guess. Call it new or something different to differentiate from the stuff you're doing the same thing from years ago. Yeah, I think I've talked about this before, but it's like in my other hobby, I'm a painter. I'm a commission artist type thing, but I started hearing this new term going around and I was like, what the heck is that? And you got these new guys that are new to painting and everything. They've been doing this, and they go, "Oh, this is the new. Try this new technique called." And you watch and go, "Yeah, okay." You just renamed something that we've been doing for years and decades to call it new, so you get hits on your channel. Yeah, and the same thing, it's like I'm an earth scientist also. I got a degree in earth science, physical science, geology, you name it. And it has to do with the planet. I got probably a degree in it, and it was like, when we had that derecho. They call it a derecho. Like, what the hell's a derecho? And I'm looking at it, it's like, and I thought, straight line wins. Okay. Some individual decided to rename something into something cool. That's new. We've never had derechos before. Yeah, because you never named them before that way. Yeah. Or as we like to call the mid-latitude cyclone. And now they start calling them by names and different names, and you're like, okay. It's like someone over at the Weather Channel decided to fancy up everything. Is that what is going on? That's what it seems like. Oh, man. And they'll just tell you, keep up with the new terms. No. I'm a fossil. I'm sorry. Just because you think you have to rename it doesn't mean it has to be. I've seen today these two guys, they're on Facebook. They do it's dad jokes type thing. Yeah. What's the pronouns of chocolate? Her and she. Her, she. like, oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh. I send that kind of stuff to we got a family chat for our local, my son, my daughter, wife, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, mother-in-law. And, I'm sharing these kind of things. And sometimes they say, just stop. I'm like, my wife was like, that's not funny. And I start rolling. And I'm just laughing my ass off. And she's like, what's so funny? It's funny that you don't find it funny. You're incorrigible. I'm like, yes, I am. Oh, man. You got to find humor in just like everything. It's like, my humor button was bad because my dad was a dry humor kind of guy. That was a slow percolating type of humor. Kind of passed it on to me. And then the military got hold of me. And boy, did they mess me up. Yeah, you gotta really, it's like sometimes life in the military is very morbid. You gotta find a way to let the tension out. Oh man, it's knocked it down some. Still got a lot right through here. Final pass. You shall not pass. Alrighty. Well, one more time into the breach. Yeah, I was just watching a video today and it's like, oh man. Speaking of military, it's like, I was armored cav in the military. So I ran around in tanks and Bradleys and stuff like that. And used lots of different equipment. Let's just put it that way in my years. But we're sending a bunch of Bradley fighting vehicles to Ukraine. I'm like, okay. Big giant targets. Like, oh man. Yeah, they got some good equipment. It's like the best weapon on that thing is the tow. Sit back and shoot something from a longer distance. That's its benefit right there. And then it's got a little more armor than your, a little better than the BMP, but we'll find out how that works. That's a cluster over there, isn't it? I was watching a video of a Brit that went over there and part of the international fighting force, talking about his time over there. Like, man, he did say that the Americans, he had problems over there joining the force, because a lot of the ones that were prior service that spent a lot of time in the military had problems because they're so used to having all the toys to fight their battles that they weren't used to being on the other end of the spectrum, looking around for support. Like, yeah, we got a tough nut. Radio up, make a call. The guy in the sky comes and drops a bomb on your enemy's building and blasts the crap out of it. That was their standard operating procedure. And these guys are like, yeah, you got no air support. Your only support is your local mortars, and sometimes if you're lucky, you get some artillery. Life got interesting. One funny thing is that the guy said, I got so used to being able to determine where an artillery shell was going, if it was outgoing or not. It wasn't, they put it, the address wasn't ours. It was going someplace, being sent someplace else. He said, it got pretty good turn to determine where it was going. And he's like, you hear it coming, and he's like, okay. He's like, I'll kneel down or something. And it's like, it's not for us. Don't worry about it. And the newer guys were like diving for the hole, running their eyeballs and assholes, running for the bunker, And he said, you'll get used to it. You'll figure it out. Now, if you see me running for the bunker, run for the bunker, because it's coming for us. And he said, that's how good it got. Figuring out where it was going, depending on how you hear it. You could hear the thump, thump, thump. As the air, they're just sending their air mail over, like heavy mortars or maybe some lighter artillery. 120, 122s, I think the Russians use for artillery. Yeah, it could be interesting. I say that is a major cluster over there. Everybody's sending over equipment. Basically, it's like a proxy land war. We haven't had one of these in forever today, where Everybody's basically, that's a big test bed of what your equipment can do or can't do. We already knew that, you know, it was like the Russian-made equipment was pretty much decided, you know, how good it was after the first Gulf War. They realized that, yeah, Bradley could punch holes through a T-72 with the 25 millimeter chain gun with using depleted uranium or stable rounds. That gun was good. Belt pad, big chain gun. But now we got all the drones and all the in-laws, and you got the testing out all the surface and air missiles and new ones, and I'm just glad I'm no longer in. Got a bad feeling about that. Where we're going to be in a year. Oh, I missed it. All right, I think we got, right there. There we go. I think we got it. Hot water to the face. Well, to say, the soap isn't bad. It's typical Stirling quality, smooth, got residual slickness. Razor knocked everything down. So we're going to be using, let's see, I can take that's right there. Where's that? There we go. There you go. Avon Wild Country. There's a fern aspect of with the Wild Country along with the other aspects that are with it, so that's marries up pretty good. Got that powdery kind of barbershop style scent too. It's a fougere, but you can smell that citrus and kind of an orange scent coming across. Man, it smells good. I just love that stuff. It's one of my favorites. And then I got that the actual cologne from Todd over at Take Care Man. Yep, good stuff. It's like that's for like a little on and go. Oh yeah, time to go out. All right, so that's the shave of the day, everybody. That was Stirling's Varen. Yeah, it's like now I smell it. I was like, the fern has kind of disappeared because the Wild Country has just kicked that fern scent across to the side. Now I'm just like, yeah, there's not much fern you can smell now. Overpowered by the other awesomeness. All right, so that was the Star Razor with London Bridge blades. Did a great job for me. Just whacked that right off. So that was about 26 hours worth of growth on my face. Yeah, it did a good job. I'm happy. Happy. All right, so that's the shave there, everybody. So I hope you guys like it. Hit the like button. If you've stuck around long enough and you think you like the channel, hey, hit the subscribe button. Stick around. And we'll hope to keep you guys entertained. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Rusty out.